So all of my messaging is positive. So as the world gets more messed up, I'm leveraged against chaos. As the world becomes a bigger mess, as people struggle to survive to pay their bills, as people become more and more unhappy, as the wars start, all this craziness, people sit there and go, do I want to be entertained by clowns? Do I want to watch these streamers who are clowns? Do I want to be entertained? Or do I want a solution? Do I want some form of stability? Who is saying things which can actually help me, which actually will directly impact my life in real time and make me feel better? And that's me. So I'm not an entertainer in that way, which is why I believe my brand has become so strong and why most people like me. And it's also why a lot of people will forgive me for being semi-abrasive, because I feel like as the world gets more messed up, which it is, people are going to learn some very abrasive, harsh lessons. And sometimes when you've gone through a very harsh lesson, to be given a solution which isn't harsh, you're not going to believe in it. To be given a harsh solution makes you feel like, okay, this guy knows exactly what he's talking about. As a man, your life is supposed to be shit. My argument to this is people go, oh, I don't feel good. I say, good. Your life as a man is going to be terrible the entire time. Who told you at any point, I don't know what the Bible says, I haven't read it cover to cover like I've read the Quran, but I don't think the Bible says you're supposed to be happy all of the time. The Quran certainly doesn't. It says in the Quran, just because you believe, you think Allah will not test you. Just because you believe in me, you think you're not going to be tested. Because God's love is a disciplinarian love. It's a masculine love. It's like a father. A father shows love through putting you on the bike, letting you fall over, letting you hurt your knee, picking you back up, putting you back on the bike. That's how a father shows love, and God is the same. Yeah, I think I had the best possible upbringing a person can have, which is good parents and no money. I didn't get famous or rich young, which I also thank the Lord for. I think a lot of these people who get famous online quite early, I think they miss out a lot of life. It's not real life.
It's not real life.
No, I had real jobs and I did real things and I was really broke and I was really on the bus and really trying to pay rent and doing real stuff for a long time. I always say I'm not rich. I'm a poor man with a lot of money. I always used to say that, and I don't want to brag or anything, but just because I get asked this question a lot. I've been extremely successful. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, I think our last valuation across everything we own was almost at B now. Because if you're born with everything, if you're born with all this money, you have no aspiration, nothing to actually grasp onto and trying to achieve, then money doesn't make you happy. But then you can analyze this from another angle, right? We were just talking earlier, we can always pivot back to who the matrix are, who's in charge. So let me ask you.
Do you have somebody that
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're born into a dynasty, let's say a banking dynasty, and you're born a billionaire, and you have everything you've ever wanted ever, and money has absolutely no value at all, and a brand new Ferrari doesn't mean a thing. You could buy one every 10 minutes for the rest of your life, and money doesn't make you happy. What's the one thing that's going to make you happy?
Controlling others.
Controlling others. Power. Ego. So then you sit there and start looking at things.
Because
and going,
games become real.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now you're like, okay, well, money doesn't satisfy me. What makes me feel important? Especially if you're going to add in. Let's add in another angle to it. Let's imagine you falsely believe, because it is falsely, that you're somehow genetically better than others. You're from this lineage. You're better than the other people. And the other people, the serfs and peasants, are struggling for money, and you have unlimited money because you're so smart and your family's always been so smart.
You'll have haughty eyes.
Yeah. So then you're going to sit there and go, well, why did they make people put on a mask when they walked in the restaurant and take the mask off to eat and then put it on to go to the toilet and then take it off to eat and then put it back on? Because it's funny.
You think it's just because it's funny?
Because it's an ego. Because it's ego.
I thought it was a test to see how far they could push something.
Compliance tests.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing. So when you really understand that people who are in charge of the world are completely, like you said, broken. They're broken people. Money can't satisfy them. I think that as a man, your happiness comes from feeling respected over feeling loved. And the reason perhaps you're happy now is because you have more respect for yourself because of the decisions you're making. And you have self-respect.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of men, even if they have self-respect, if nobody else respects them, they're struggling. I think male depression can be fixed with respect.
I want to tap into depression. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that it's massively overdiagnosed. I say depression isn't real because I speak in absolutes. I think the idea of feeling depressed is real. I don't feel like it's a clinical disease that you catch from the sky and it can't be fixed. I feel like depression is feedback, pain is feedback, and your mind and body is telling you something must change. And if you make those changes, you will feel happier. I don't buy into the idea that it is a disease. I think it's situational, and you must change your situation and your actions and your decisions to feel better. And that's why I say it's not real. It's not a disease. It's because when I say depression isn't real and it's situational and you have to change your situation to feel better, people often come back to me and say, well, what about celebrities? Because celebrities live perfect lives and they kill themselves. And I argue that with the exact point you made. Because a celebrity sits there, Robin Williams, I'm depressed. You're as famous as you can get. You live the most privileged life you can live. Let's find out what's making you sad. Let's go on safari. Let's see some tigers.
Or get rid of the shit that's making you depressed.
Completely.
There's no attack towards making progress. There's just trying to take the easy way out.
That's
One,
right.
labeling myself.
Yep.
Sorry guys, I can't do it today. I have anxiety
Yep.
or I have depression. Now, mind you, there might be some people out there that actually wake up and they have a lot of things on them. I think you need to find God.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it.
Nobody's gonna care about you more than you.
Nobody.
Nobody's gonna wake up each morning and go, you know what, Andrew Tate only has 53 cars. He needs a 54th car. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna work hard and buy him a car. No, that's my job. But everything you said about depression is super true. And Robin Williams, his mistake is that he went to a therapist who confirmed his bias, confirmed he's depressed. They then sat there and talked about being depressed 3 times a week for 2 hours a day. Then they put him on mind-altering drugs to make him feel better. And after 9 years of therapy, he jumped off a building. If I were to take mind-altering drugs and talk about being sad all day, every day, I'd probably jump off a building too. So it's absolutely the wrong thing you can do. And I want to make a point here because when I talk about depression, people always defend it. I don't believe in things that take away power from me. I don't care if depression is real. I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't believe in something that takes away power from me because I can't become depressed if I don't believe in depression. And that allows me to shield my mind from the idea of being a depressed person. I can feel depressed temporarily, but I can never become a depressed person because it doesn't exist. You can lock me in a Romanian jail cell for 93 days with cockroaches. I will not be depressed. I will feel a little bit sad, of course, but I will never become a depressed person because I don't believe in it. And when I say this, depressed people are like, no, depression's real, it's ruined my life, it's taken everything from me, depression's real, depression's real. I said, you sound like it's promotional team. You sound like it's
their
PR
God.
team.
It's their God.
They're
worshiping it.
You're worshiping it because it gives you a cure-all excuse for your monumental failures, as opposed to waking up and going, you know what, maybe I'm a fuck up. Nothing to do with depression. Maybe I've just been fucking up. Maybe depression isn't real and I've just been fucking up and I should fix a few of these things.
What have I been reaping?
Absolutely. And you'd be amazed how depression will lose power over your life and lose its ability to destroy your life if you stop giving it so much respect and just wake up and say, let me fix X, Y, and Z. So you can speak yourself also positive, which we know, but I think there's a mistake that a lot of people make with that. A lot of people are obsessed with the idea of happiness. And especially as a man, I think that happiness can actually be a very destructive motivator. And when men sit and say, I want to be happy, I want to feel happy. To feel happy, a lot of the time, you're looking for temporary hedonism. To be happy, you want to get drunk, or take drugs, or do something stupid temporarily, and it's very short-lived. I think you should instead be looking as a man to say, I want to feel proud. If you choose pride over happiness, you're going to make decisions that you're proud of and the people around you are proud of, and it's going to be better for yourself and better for society and better for everyone who loves you, everyone you care about. Completely. I think the best thing a man can do is wake up and say, what can I do that's going to make me proud of myself and other people are proud of me? Because when I talk to people, I think we all have our default emotions we seek, and depressed people, their default emotion that they're looking for is sympathy. They want sympathy, either from themselves or from somebody else. And they always have a sob story. It's always about how hard their life was and they did drugs and blah, blah, blah. And they want everyone to feel sorry for them. They're searching for sympathy. If you're the kind of person who searches for happiness, whether male or female, in my experience, people who search for happiness end up doing hedonistic, temporary, stupid things. When I find men who search to feel proud of themselves, I want people to be proud of me, and I want to be proud of myself, and I want to be respected. They often delay happiness. They often go through very difficult things and build things which are beautiful or build things which are difficult to do. They often go to the other side of fear to feel that pride. I did it. I faced my fear. I did it.
Yeah.
So I think as a man, searching for pride or searching to feel proud is a pretty positive mindset for masculine achievement. And then I have to sit here and analyze myself. Is pride the driving vehicle for me? Like, why do I even
100%
why do I even do what I do? Like, do I feel proud of myself when I awaken people to how the matrix works? Well, yes. But is that because I believe I'm helping them, or do I just feel happy in and of myself? Why do I own all the things I own? Why do I want all the things I want? And it's very interesting, you asked a question earlier before we got down this point when you said, has money made me happier or made me more anxious? And the answer to that is both. I think that you're certainly anxious when you have an empire because you're you understand how difficult it is to maintain, especially in my position, right? I've been hit by DCAUT and FBI and all these huge federal agencies are trying to take everything I've ever worked for.
And from your loved ones that you're leaving
from my
for.
loved ones, all the money I've ever made. It's actually a very difficult, precarious situation to be in. And even if you ever get to the position where you pay yourself $500,000 every single morning, you get concerned with, am I still going to be able to do this? Then the money ain't making you happy. You're working so hard to make sure you'll always be able to pay yourself that money that you don't even spend, that you don't even need.
That's the pride thing I was trying to tell you about.
Of course.
So
but this is how you hold on to things.
And it's a stomach that keeps needing.
It does keep needing. You're completely right. But that's also how there's no light without dark. The stomach keeps needing. Completely agree with you. But that's also how I managed to propel myself from here to here.
Did that change when you got a daughter?
I think in some ways it got worse because there's anxiety attached to my money. But the true happiness that I get from my money is the fact that I can give people I care about anything I want.
You could set them free.
I can set them free.